Fanatics, welcome to another episode of my Thriller Thursday, where we work on our craft projects. I'm currently working on my Diamond Art Club Faye that I got for my birthday, and we're going to talk about a true crime episode. I kind of want to say this is a story, but this is definitely not a story. It reads like one, a horror story. But as I always say, it actually happened. So I am giving you a strong, stern warning that viewer discretion is advised, because this horrific episode, we talk about cannibalism and child abuse, and it is vile. Now, I had to do a little bit of research into this because the names are very, very foreign and I wanted to get it right. So, if you are ready, we will begin. Okay. Please be warned. If you're watching this before dinner, please don't. If you have just had your dinner, I would leave it a little while. Okay, so we're going to begin. Now that I have that out of the way, we're going to begin. Okay, so sorry, I am just getting to the beginning of this article. Okay. So this is about the Mauerova family. It's a bizarre and disturbing episode involving cannibalism, child abuse, identity theft, and a cult. Klara Mauerova from the Czech Republic often told people that she was destined to fulfill a mission for God. Her sister Katerina had a mission too, she said. Klara went on to have 2 sons, and I hope I'm saying this right. Andre and Yaku. The father of the sons eventually left Klara because of her bizarre behaviour. Nonetheless, Klara was said to have been a good mother in the beginning and would often be seen playing with her 2 boys. However, after the breakup, Klara and her sons then moved in with her sister. The sisters then became friendly with a 33-year-old Barbara Skrylova. She was an award-winning classical composer. Barbara had a glandular disease that made her look much younger than she really was, and people often mistook her for a child. And she used this to her advantage. Prone to getting into trouble with the law, she often posed as a minor to avoid charges being filed. Now that would be pretty cool, but it depends on I mean, what is she doing to, say, oh, I'm a minor? Like, what is she getting up to? But anyway, before coming to the Czech Republic from Scandinavia, Barbara posed and even became legal as a 13-year-old girl named Annika. Shortly after the three women met one another, they joined a religious cult led by Barbara's father, known as the Grail Movement. The cult expressed the belief that their members could get into heaven by doing good deeds. Well, that's perfect. That's what everyone should aspire to be. But this is Thriller Thursday, and it isn't going to be the end of the story. However, they also believed that they were absolved to commit crimes. So what we're going to do, we're going to go joyriding, or let's rob a bank, No. Oh, no. The three women unleashed a barrage of abuse on 8-year-old Andre and 9-year-old Yaku. It reads like Jacob, but we're in Scandinavia, or Czech Republic, I should say. But yeah, the episodes I've heard about this story, they call him Yaku, so hopefully I'm saying that right. Anyway, the two boys were locked in a cage in the basement where they remained for a year. During that year, they were completely stripped and given no blankets or anything soft to lay on. They were starved, tortured, beaten, sexually assaulted. The boys were burned with cigarettes, given electric shocks, scratched with forks, whipped, and on, I think, more than one occasion, almost drowned. The boys were forced to cut themselves with knives. When they weren't kept in a cage, they would be handcuffed to a table and forced to stand in their own urine for days. And if either boy vomited, they would be forced to eat it. Oh, it's difficult to say. It was soon decided that they would force feed the boys to make them gain weight. After gaining some weight, the women held Andre down and skinned his leg as he screamed and pleaded. This boy is, 8? He's the youngest one, I think. The three women then ate the raw flesh. They did the same to Yaku and even forced the boys to consume their own flesh. When they weren't being tortured, they were literally being eaten alive. I can't, I'm getting a bit upset here, but I can't even imagine. Oh, okay. The abuse was eventually uncovered by chance in early May of 2007. It's not even like in the 1950s. It's, okay. In 2007, when a neighbour became a father of this lovely newborn baby, and he went out and he bought a baby monitor so that he could place one in the bedroom so that he could carry the other one around with him to keep an eye on his newborn son. And Clara, the mum, also had one, but it wasn't to keep an eye on her children, She was watching the abuse, and she could watch it from any room. And I believe the sister they're all in on it, all of them, but I think the sister was the catalyst. She got more pleasure out of the abusing her nephews than so she also had this like baby monitor so she could watch the abuse in any room. And when the dad set it all up, somehow their signals interlocked, and he didn't see his newborn son in his crib. He saw one of the boys, Andre. Andre came up on the screen with his hands tied behind his back, lying naked on the floor. He could see that he was badly beaten and sliced. Obviously, he didn't know what was happening, but so I mean, you can't imagine, can you, going pick up your monitor to check on your newborn son and you see that image. It's just like, well. So the neighbour called the police, who arrived to rescue Andre and Yaku. And they walked into... This isn't in this article, it's what I've picked up watching these things. There was one that said that he couldn't identify who the boy was, so they went round knocking on all the doors, and everyone was, kind of open, saying, yes, come in, have a look around, we've got nothing to hide. And they get to Clara and Katerina's house, and they look around and inspect everything, and they come across a locked door, and they ask Clara to open the door, and she doesn't. She absolutely refuses. And she's also gagged the boys to stop them from screaming out and alerting passers-by or neighbours or anything. So the police wouldn't have heard anything. But they broke down the door, basically. They said, we're going down there to check it out. So they found Andre and Yaku down there. And then they also rescued, in quote marks, another young girl who identified herself as their 13-year-old sister, Annika. The brothers and the young girl were sent to a children's home before it was finally uncovered that Annika was actually Barbara. Before police got a chance to arrest her, she fled to Norway, where she took up a new identity as a 13-year-old boy named Adam. In Oslo, Barbara shaved her head and enrolled in school. Now, if this isn't cunning and conniving, I mean... 8 months later, Barbara was eventually tracked down by police, and following the arrests, all of the women turned on each other. Clara claimed that she had been brainwashed by a doctor who sent her text messages instructing her what abuse and torture to inflict on her sons. Now, I'm sorry, even if that was true, if I was getting text messages telling me to beat up my children or starve them, it's not going to happen. I would break the phone and leave the country. Anything. Police later discovered that the phone number of the so-called doctor actually belonged to Katerina, the sister. Barbara also claimed that she was innocent and that she too had been tortured by the sisters, but the court didn't believe her claims. According to prosecutors, the purpose of the torture and abuse was to break the boys and enslave them for religious purposes. While the three women were part of the Grail movement, apparently they had branched out and were creating their own cult. It was this breakaway cult that called for members to prove their devotion through physical devotion. Now this you won't believe, because this was, did I say 2007? This is absolute. This is the absolute most horrific part of the story. I will firstly say that Andre and Yaku survived, and by all accounts they are recovering well, and there's no accessible information on them like following this, and rightly so in my opinion. I think they don't need us snooping to find out how they're doing. They need to somehow recover and put their lives back together and get over this. Not that they will ever get over it. They will learn to cope and move on from it. And I wish them so much love, and yeah, my heart goes out to those two boys. But the mum, Clara, was sentenced to 9 years in prison. Katerina was sentenced to 10 years in prison. And Barbara, who was the cult leader and fled to, that shows guilt. She got 5 years in prison. And they have all since been paroled. What? Seriously, they have all been paroled, and yeah. What can you say, really? It's absolutely shocking that these people are back out in the world. I'm just looking to... There were other relatives involved, I'm pretty sure of that. This story, this story is evil. It defines what evil is, doesn't it? How deranged does one have to be? Like, seriously. Oh, is there more to this story? No, it's the link that I clicked. I'm just seeing if there's there really isn't much more that I can add, I don't think. But this absolutely repulsed me. And they're out. I mean, I'm speechless. So, that is the story of the Mauerova family from the Czech Republic. So, I do hope that, I don't want to say you enjoyed this story because, have you heard about this case? I must thank Brittany because she pointed me in this direction of this episode, and this has to be the very worst ever Therapeutic Thursday episodes that I have done. I know I haven't got a large history. I think we're not even on 20 episodes yet, I don't think. But this has to be the worst. The worst. I mean, I don't know if anything is going to beat this. Absolutely vile and disgusting. And she done all that own mother, and got 9 years. And is since paroled. And I believe she's out like, oh, I was forced into this and I didn't want to hurt my children. Yeah. I mean, what must the dad think? I wonder if he's got the boys. I don't know. I hope they are happy and are being shown what love is. But yes, so that is the story of the Mauerova family. It's going to take something to beat this episode, that's for sure. So thank you for spending time with me. I really do appreciate it. If you do enjoy my true life episodes, then please, my true crime episodes, please give me a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed this video, and hit that subscribe button for more. And yeah, thank you for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. I am going to go and find something else to read that is less horrific. Thank you, Brittany, for pointing me in this direction. Yeah, I'm no longer hungry. So, I love you guys and really appreciate it. If you have any suggestions on who you would like me to research and look into, please leave it down in the comments and I will do that. I am enjoying these episodes. I enjoy talking about these crimes with you. I think, I don't know if they have the death penalty there, but something more harshly should have been done. I think they should have been in a prison cell with no bed, and yeah, but then they'll be claiming human rights, wouldn't they? It's so annoying. Anyway, I am off. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I shall see you in the next one, guys. Bye.